Everybody. Welcome to another episode of your boys Trash Talk with GGS. That's episode 15? Is that what we on now?
We out here.
Yo, we are out here. How was everybody?
15 or
50?
We getting there.
No, we'll get there. Don't rush it, bro. We'll get there. Yo, G, how was the week, man?
Yo, week was good, man. I was chilling. You know, a little work, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Shout out to my little cousin Tristan. Yesterday's first birthday party. Shout out to him.
Happy birthday.
Out here, we slid out to the little jump spot.
On that.
We slid out to the little jump spot on Paramus. Had a little good time. Me and the little man. And other than that, just chilling. Nice smooth week. Here we are Sunday once again. Back to get the people what they want.
Absolutely. Smells. What's goody, man?
Man, everything's good, man. I'm enjoying the new life that we live in.
We can see that.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I had you guys listen to the Judge Joe Brown thing with the Juneteenth and how he feels about it. That was very interesting, that take right there. It's always good to hear from the elders, you know what I'm saying, and just understand what really is going on. And other than that, everything is good. Me and my little man went over by mom's. Me, my little man and the lady went by my mom's for her 65th.
Nice.
Brought that in real quick, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
It's been a weekend.
Nice, man. That's what's up. Yeah, man, I had a great week too. Just out here ready to do this, ready to finish up this damn tournament that we got going on.
Yeah.
So, if you didn't know and you were living under some kind of a rock, we are in the midst of doing the best Sitcom Ever tournament.
Yeah.
Now, last week we got through the first bracket and a couple hearts were broken, and that's okay. But this week we're probably gonna end up finishing it. Actually, we're most definitely gonna finish it.
We're gonna get through it.
Yeah, we're gonna get through it. Before we begin round two, we want to go through the honorable mentions. Thing about sitcoms is that there's so many of them that it's hard to just pick 16.
Definitely.
Like we kind of went with the ones that we liked growing up and stuff, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention some great ones. So in our honorable mentions, we got Sanford and Son, Honeymooners, The Golden Girls, which should have been in it.
Yeah.
Should have been in it, but whatever. All in the Family, Three's Company.
Yeah.
Taxi, which is a great fucking show.
Yeah.
Happy Days, Welcome Back Carter, Scrubs, and The Facts of Life.
And we got one more. And one more. Hold on. One
Alf
more.
didn't make it.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
Alf.
Yeah.
Alf.
Yeah, I'm going
Alien Life Form, son.
Jay-Z?
You gonna put that in there? You gotta put Small Wonder in there, then, yo.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah, so we had to do a honorable mentions list because there's just too many, but we did want to show love to some of the ones that didn't necessarily make our own personal top 16.
Great shows, man.
For real.
Great show, for real.
Great shows, absolutely. But now we're going to get to the actual bracket. And the first one of round two, we got, oh, this is crazy. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus I Love Lucy.
Damn.
Wow. I don't even want to go first. One of y'all.
I'll go first.
I'll
go first.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna go with I Love Lucy. Simply because the slapstick aspect of sitcom, she bodied that. And I think Fresh Prince took a course from that. I think that a lot of comedy that has a lot of goofy shit up in it, that's sitcoms, they took from that formula.
Mm-hmm.
I Love Lucy, to me, was about, I'm going to say at least maybe 15 to 20 years ahead of its time. On some G. I'm gonna say that, and that's why I'm gonna go with I Love Lucy.
What do you think, G?
Tough one, yo. Because the word sitcom stands for situational comedy. And both of them hold that ground so well. I Love Lucy was basically shorts for the most part. It really wasn't like a, you know what I'm saying? But for the Fresh Prince, it held its own as a situational comedy because there was always a situation going on.
You're gonna make me decide.
And
But
it's like,
I'm
yo,
trying to say, hold on, Jay. I'm trying to say, but isn't that what we held against Family Matters?
what you mean?
That they laid heavy on the situation aspect versus
Hold
the
on, I'm
comedy
getting to it, son.
aspect?
Hold on. Son.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. That's what, but this is what, and that's my point. This is what I'm saying. Even though, like I said, the Will Father moment and stuff like that was like just some emotional, just oh man. But when you just stick to situational comedy, gotta get that shit that I Love Lucy, yo.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me, yo, because Fresh Prince. I was watching Fresh Prince like the other night, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But if we're gonna stay true to what this is about, when it comes to comedy, now like I said, it's the Fresh Prince funny ass moments. Don't get it fucked up.
Oh, for sure.
But sticking to situational comedy, that's branded in I Love Lucy shows like that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Carlton, when he got high and was dancing is one of the funniest shits
that was when he took speed.
Yo,
he took
man,
speed.
Go Carlton,
Yo.
go Carlton, go Carlton.
Mhm.
Yo, that was one of the funniest moments, man.
Yo,
So it
Carlton with the
definitely does
damn
have-
who's the dance? Who what
Yeah, the Tom Jones. It's
the
not
Tom Jones.
unusual.
It's not unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yo, and to your point, G, you know, I was just watching Fresh Prince the other day. You know, Fresh Prince stays on my television, probably more so than I Love Lucy does.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh Prince had more of an impact on my childhood, probably more than I Love Lucy did.
You
But
can relate to it more.
of course, right. And we can all three of us, most of the people that we know too, can probably relate to Fresh Prince faster than they would with I Love Lucy, right?
Of course.
But, and here's the but, that's a testament to how good Lucille Ball was. She was way ahead of her time with her comedy.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a show that was running, what, in the 50s? 50s? Is that when it was rocking? Probably.
I know it was
that?
in black and white. I know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can go back and watch episodes of I Love Lucy now and be in tears.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
That's the truth.
I would have to give it to I Love Lucy, man.
Clean,
I
sweet.
think Lucy was more funny. Lucia was funnier than Will.
Yeah.
And I was leaning Fresh Prince until I really had to make that definition of what it was, yo.
Uh-huh.
Oh
You
man.
set the bar with that one when you brought that to the table. To
Yeah.
disqualify the Wonder Years.
I swindled.
You set the bar with that.
I just swindled myself, yo. Swindled myself off Fresh Prince. My bad.
And you know what? That sucks. Yeah, take that out. You know what? That sucks because we're not going to get Fresh Prince versus Martin. And I wanted that to happen, but it ain't going to happen now. But that's all right. All right, so I Love Lucy moves on. Deservingly moves on.
Yeah.
All right.
Respect it.
The next one, and G, we are going to start with you.
Okay.
The Bernie Mac
I already
Show
know.
Yeah.
versus Everybody Hates
Really,
Chris.
son?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yo. Come on, yo. Oh man.
The
You on the
floor is
spot,
yours.
You on the spot.
Yo, why y'all do that, son? How did this happen? This shit, that's really what's next?
Bernie Mac
is
beat
what's
Different
next.
Strokes. Everybody Hates Chris beat the Wonder Years, and now
Yep.
they got to battle it out.
Yep.
Some fucked up shit, yo. All right, well, let's get into it. Like I said, they're in ways they're so comparable. Like when you look at how Bernie played his part and how Tashina Arnold played her part. They're like, you know what I'm saying? And just, there's so many moments between both them shows. Like that time where Chris was trying to do the slave of slave bad boy shit. Do y'all remember that episode?
Nah.
Julius had got a like a voucher for like employee of the month to go to some fancy French restaurant. And Chris was trying to impress Tasha by being the bad boy because they had the fake Flavor Flav, slave of slave dude. And so he's trying to act like him. So they was at the restaurant, Chris popping mad shit, being mad cool and lax. And he had his feet up on the table. And the manager came and was like, yeah, you need to take your feet off the table. And he was like, well, so what if I don't want to? And then he stood up. And then they started playing, like the commotion started, and they shot back to Julius and shot back to the parents one day. He was like, yo, what's that noise? And it's like, is that Chris? And now this is how it plays out. The song Everybody Plays a Fool starts playing. They get up, start walking towards where Chris is, and Chris is like on the manager, like yelling in his face, tapping him on the chest, like on some slow-mo shit. And then it's like, yo, Rochelle goes, she yells, Chris, and Chris turns around like, what? And then you get like this, the doom doom, like the heartbeat shit, and you get this the camera shows, like zooms in on Rochelle's face, and she got that fucking on, and then it goes doom doom, then it zooms in on Chris, and he like, and then it goes black, and then the next thing you know, it comes to, and it's Rochelle standing over Chris. He's in the hospital bed. He's on his stomach. Hold up. He's on his stomach with his knees cocked up and his ass in the air. And if you look over in the corner on the wall, there's an X-ray of his ass with her shoe in. She literally put her foot up his ass.
God.
And the doctor came in, son.
Yo.
And she was like, hey, doctor, is he gonna be okay? He's like, yeah, he'll be all right, but you ain't gonna be able to wear that shoe no more. Hang in there, tough guy. Yo, that was one of the funniest moments I ever seen on that show, yo. And then on the flip side, Bernie got moments just like that too. Ah, man, yo. I give it to Bernie, yo. Here's why. Because with that whole moment that I described about everybody hates Chris, the only thing that sets them apart is the fact that, to me and Bernie Mac, you had Bernie, you had Jordan, even Wanda had a few moments, and you had Vanessa with the little, kind of attitude-ish, but them always clashing back and forth. And I say that to say that the Bernie Mac show made more comedic moments out of his characters than Everybody Hates Chris, because, okay, you had Chris, you had Rochelle. Julius wasn't really funny. It was just that he was cheap. And that's, that was his, his backbone.
That's what was funny.
Yeah. Greg, to me, wasn't really funny alone. No. And Caruso throwing him in a locker, that kind of got played out after a while. But, like, Jordan was funny. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Bernie was funny. Mm-hmm. And the dynamic of him and Vanessa always having that beef. Like, and that's the only edge I can give, yo. I give it to Bernie, yo. Damn, that sucks, man.
What do you think, Smills?
It's real hard, man. It really is hard. Like, and I'm gonna have to go with something that didn't make the honorable mentions on why I'm gonna give this to who I'm gonna give it to. But the Wayans I would put in the honorable mentions too.
Yeah,
the Wayans
brothers
show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I would put the Wayans brothers in is because it was very relatable to me as a person, the life I've lived, what I've seen, and they embodied that perfectly. I say that to say this. I'm going to give it to Everybody Hates Chris, just for the simple fact that it was more catered from the aspect of the child's character, and it felt like I was reliving a childhood, so to say, through the eyes of Chris, because I could relate to everything, the music, everything that was going on that, it brought me back. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yo, they killed how relatable they made this. Now, Bernie, they made it the same way as far as relatability, if that's a word. You know what I'm saying? But they made it like you could still relate to it, but it's if within the inner child.
I get what you're saying.
If you're gonna relate to it, you're gonna relate to it from that was that uncle or that was that aunt, from more of the scolding aspect of it. Where with and Everybody Hates Chris, you could relate to being that kid that you felt everybody hated you. So from that aspect, I'm gonna give it to Everybody Hates Chris. I love
tiebreaker, son.
I love Bernie Mac.
Yeah, yo. But I get what you're saying. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Cause Everybody Hate Chris just had, and some of the moments where like certain things would be said, like remember when Rochelle said, "I'll slap you in the next week," and then it faded out, and they were sitting at the table and Chris wasn't there. Tanya was like, "Where's Chris?" It's like, "Oh, he'll be back next week." Yeah, I could dig it. I respect that. Well, go ahead, son. Tiebreaker.
I relate more to Everybody Hates Chris, but I'm gonna give it to the Bernie Mac show because I think that Bernie Mac is one of the funniest motherfuckers who have ever been born.
Yeah.
And you put him over. You put him over Chris Rock. Ooh, this is the discussion now because you just said something.
Chris Rock has the longevity because he's still here.
Yes, and he's still funny because that show Everybody Hates Chris is a testament to how funny he still can be.
Yeah. I personally say Bernie was funnier than Chris Rock.
Well, Bernie's your guy.
Hey.
Not even just that. I'm just saying that sometimes Chris Rock comes off as, I don't want to say necessarily unbelievable, but put it this way. With Bernie's comedy, it's like you really felt like that's like he made you feel like that's who he was 24/7 all the time. Like it came so natural.
Right. Chris Rock seems like before he
not necessarily forced, but not as natural.
He gotta whoop and then go and do it.
Yeah.
It's like Bernie don't
that's
gotta
just
do
who
that
he was,
because he that's who he is.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say this though. Growing up in the 90s, Chris Rock, bigger, blacker, what was it? Bigger, blacker, and better? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was hilarious.
That shit was so
See, now,
funny.
this is the question that you want to ask. Is the longevity a detriment to Chris Rock in the argument that you're presenting? Because Bernie Mac didn't have that longevity.
Yeah, Chris Rock's most recent stand-up.
That tambourine was.
It was okay.
It wasn't.
Exactly.
It wasn't old school Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Exactly, but if Bernie Mac would have been able to do it as long, do we know if he would have gotten to the point where we feel he's slacking?
We never found out, but let's make the comparison though. Did y'all see Soul Man? The last movie he put out?
I didn't see Soul Man. It wasn't good, right?
Soul Man, the movie?
It was
Soul Man.
With Samuel?
With him and Samuel L. Jackson and Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
That shit was funny. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. How was it? So how do you equate Bernie in that versus Friday Bernie or House Party Bernie?
For how many years was the span? You get what I'm saying?
Soul Man was 08. House Party was what, 93? Friday was 95. So that's about 15 years.
Yeah. But he wasn't the main. And Friday and all of that, he wasn't a main character.
But you always remember Miss Parker. You never forget that. Of course. That's what I'm saying.
Of course.
He didn't. Yeah. So even take that point, son. With the little bit of screen time that Bernie got in Friday, but made such a memorable moment. Do you think Chris Rock could have done that at any point in his career? Has he or could have done it? Now, don't say Pookie because Pookie wasn't really a comedy thing.
Right.
Pookie was hilarious though.
But but you get what I'm saying though. the Pookie wasn't
is-
really for comedy. Though.
You're about to make me go down a wormhole with these names because, like, we talking about Pookie. Now I'm talking about Samuel L. Jackson as the crackhead. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Let's not go down that wormhole.
You know,
Well, I'm just saying. I think that
the main-
for what Bernie did, that small moment in Friday, how he made that a big moment. I don't
get
think
what
Chris
you're
Rock can
saying.
do that.
I get what you're saying.
I
get
think
you.
the main reason why I'm gonna go with the Bernie Mac show over Everybody Hates Chris, I don't even think that it's a Bernie Mac versus Chris Rock thing. I think that it's just show for show. I think that at times this may sound weird, but just vibe with me for a second. I feel like at times Everybody Hates Chris kind of reached really hard for the laugh.
That's Chris Rock, though.
And
where it comes more naturally for
and
Bernie.
all right, and I'll agree with you on that. But maybe that was just the nature of the show. Like they did unbelievable stuff sometimes. Like, oh, I smack you into next week. Oh, well, it ain't next week yet. Like they did that's funny. But like Bernie Mac, and G, you can agree, son. Bernie Mac is he's so fucking quick with it, man.
Yeah.
He's so quick with it. I gotta give it to the Bernie. I feel like I had more legit belly laughs.
Yeah,
watching
and
the
just
Bernie
like
Mac
Bernie,
show.
just like the little stuff, the little shots he'd throw, like there's some bull,
Yeah.
like that little bullshit like that.
Yeah.
It don't even have to be nothing crazy. And like what was the shit with the like when the social worker came. And he was like, yeah, Jordan said you're going to bust his head to the white meat show?
Yeah. That was the show when he had all of the moms loving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show
I
was
remember
hilarious. That was hilarious.
But like,
Okay.
yeah, that's I get what you're saying with
Okay.
that. Where
But I
Chris
wanna
Rock
just-
always had
before we get
to,
off the
he'll
Bernie
say
Mac
it and
show,
shoot
since
to
he
something
got
else.
the sweep or whatever. Well, not the sweep, but since he got the win.
Yeah.
I remember something you said last week about how he was the first to do that thing when he talks to America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
There was somebody that actually did something similar to that before him.
Who was that?
You remember the Gary Sandler show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He would be in a moment and then break
I
from
remember.
that moment to talk to the camera.
I
Okay,
remember.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, and not for nothing, G, I did want to mention though, because when Everybody Hates Chris was going against the one, and I don't mean to bring up the Wonder Years again, but there was some things that you was saying about you. You was like, yeah, Everybody Hates Chris. They had the music and all of that. Act like the Wonder Years wasn't playing the jams.
Yeah,
in
it was.
every episode.
It was.
Yeah,
They
had
will
the
be
music.
dropping the jam. So a lot of what Everybody Hates Chris did, they took from the Wonder Years. It was just more of a comedy versus the Wonder Years being more of a dramedy.
Yes. So
You know
the
what I'm
Wonder
saying?
Years still
I
holds this.
Yeah, but Wonder Years, but you know what? But Wonder Years is still a better show though. It's a better show though. It is though.
Not on this list is not.
Not, you know what?
Wonder
You-
Years is not. I don't
you
go to
lucky
Wonder
that
Years for
you
comedy though. I go to
Smells.
Wonder Years is drama, son. I don't go to Wonder Years for comedy. I'm not saying Wonder Years is bad, but to me, Wonder Years is more drama than comedy. That's all I'm saying.
Wonder Years had good moments. They had funny moments.
Yes.
I think that Wonder Years was more of a well-rounded show than Everybody Hates Chris was. I think that Everybody Hates Chris stole a lot of swag from the Wonder Years. They
Yeah.
just put some comedy on it.
I can agree with that.
With Chris Rock narrating Everybody Hates Chris, Daniel Stern was narrating the Wonder Years. Everybody Hates Chris took them classic Motown joints and put them in their episodes, and the
Yeah.
Wonder Years was out here playing joints too.
Yeah. The only thing, like show-wise, the only show you could say that took the Wonder Years blueprint to a degree that you can obviously see would be the Goldbergs.
And I
Like
never
when you
watched
watch the Goldbergs, yeah,
I watched
when
a
you
couple
watch
episodes of that. Yeah,
it's
it feels
definitely-
like
they
that
took from-
because
they
Peyton
definitely-
Oswald narrates that the same fashion. as
Exactly.
Wonder Years.
Exactly.
But all right, so the Bernie Mac show puts everybody hates Chris in a body bag. So body bag, boom. There you go, Chris Rock. Segment.
Some boo.
All right, some boo. Yo, Bernie Mac might win this whole thing, but you know what? I don't think that's gonna happen because the next one that he has to go against is gonna be crazy. Like when you look at the bracket,
let's
one
get
that's
there, man.
under Bernie,
Let's
it's
get there.
gonna be crazy no matter who wins. But we'll get there because right now we got to do Martin versus the King of Queens.
Ooh.
I'll go first. I think that Martin is funnier than the King of Queens. And what I'm also gonna tack on to Martin Lawrence as an actor far supersedes Kevin James. Now there are some funny moments in King of Queens, like what you mentioned last week with the damn picture.
Yo.
Where her hand was big as hell. That shit was funny.
Yeah.
But Martin just got too many moments, and I grew up watching Martin and Fresh Prince, and I gotta give it to Martin. I think he's funnier than Kevin James, and I think it's a funnier show.
I'm gonna give it to Martin for, of course, comedy aspect of it, and also I'm gonna go with that character development shit too, man. Like we did see those characters progress. King of Queens, they was who they were, and that was just what it was. It wasn't gonna go nowhere. That was what it was. Martin had something for you to actually look forward to. You wanted to see, is he gonna fuck this shit up completely, or is he gonna put that ring on? It wasn't nothing like that with King of Queens to me. So
there was, but y'all probably don't remember.
What, when they was gonna break up for that little episode?
No, they ended up actually having a baby after she lost one like 3 seasons before the end of the show. They actually ended up with 2.
But when did that really become a focus of the show, of them having a child? That wasn't
About
like
the 5th season.
Exactly. The thing with Martin and Gina was like that from the first episode. I mean, from the first season. The way the whole first season played out, and then they started building on, is he gonna marry her? Is he not gonna marry her? Because she started getting tired of the bullshit. They gave you something to look forward to. You get what I'm saying?
And I think that Martin and Gina, it's Martin and Gina. Like ain't nobody out. Well, what was Kevin James? What was his character's name in King Queens?
Doug.
There you go.
Yeah.
Martin and Gina, Doug and Carrie.
Oh yeah, that's you.
Come
can't
on
even
now.
put that on
There's really kind of no comparison with that.
Yeah.
But G, you go ahead and you tell the masses why you think King of Queens is better than Martin.
I mean, for personal preference, it's better for me. But if you want to talk about, I mean, well, not necessarily longevity, because King of Queens did 9, Martin did what, 5?
Yeah.
But, more the only way I can, or the only standing factor about it would be impact on the culture. And yeah, I would have to give that to Martin. I can't deny that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Martin spawned Def Comedy.
King of Queens for me was the funniest show just because the flavor of Martin really, like I said last week, it became too much after a while. But it's not no hate, it's just my personal preference. But if you have to base it on something where you give one to the other, then comedic impact on the culture, yeah, you had to get at the Martin.
Martin was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
I can't deny that. I ain't no hater, son. Keep it 100.
But that could also be a detriment to why, you said Martin was 5 years versus 9 of King of Queens?
Yeah, King of Queens did 9 seasons. Martin did 5.
Yeah, like that. You don't think that maybe he could have burnt out?
I definitely think that because he put too much, and that's my whole thing. He put too much into the show, where as you got to the back end, it's like, now what's left for you to introduce?
But that's a detriment. You can't fault a man for doing hard work.
Nah, not that. But like you're saying, a detriment to your longevity is if you put it all in, then what do you have left? Because you gotta ration this shit out.
You give him too much too soon.
Yeah. Because King of Queens, it had the thing about King of Queens, and to me, part of why it lasted so long is because it had a lot of side stories that it expanded on over seasons. Like the whole Deacon and Kelly breakup thing, that expanded over seasons. The Doug and Carrie kid thing expanded over seasons. You know what I'm saying? So they had things where they fed you a little bit and then they pulled it back. And then they fed you something else and then they pulled it back. And then they brought you back here. Like they did that pretty well. And I think that's a testament to them being on for 9 years.
Okay.
Whereas Martin, they gave it to you. And then it got to a point where, all right, well, you didn't gave it us all.
There was also a lot of backstage drama with Martin too, though.
Yeah,
but that could be a detriment to the burnout.
Yeah.
That's when the drugs come in and all of this, that, and the third, because I can't imagine how much turmoil Martin's life was in at that moment when the show started kicking off. Like I said, he had the Def Comedy Jam shit. He had the Martin show. He had the movies. Yeah. He had like mad shit going on, bruh.
Yeah. And it's too much too soon. Because, you had Def Comedy Jam, like the last couple house parties. Fucking Bad Boys came out while Martin was on.
Yeah, man.
It's a lot, yo.
It was a lot. He was doing so I can't imagine a day in his life at that point in time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Martin moves on. And to round out the second round, we got, damn, this is crazy. We got Seinfeld versus The Cosby Show.
Oh, man.
Wow. Smills, go first.
Cosby Show.
Okay.
Easy to me. Easy to me because Seinfeld is a show about nothing. And that's all I'm saying. There is no situation comedy. The show has no situations to build upon. As far as The Cosby Show, there was situations that they built upon and they made the shit funny.
Right.
So it's easy for me to go Cosby Show.
Yeah, I go, Cosby Show, the pool is too deep. Pool is too deep with The Cosby Show, when it comes to Seinfeld.
Seinfeld to me is funnier, but I will always give the respect and always put The Cosby Show above it.
That's the thing about The Cosby Show. It wasn't like gut busting funny,
right?
But just for what
the situation,
not even just the message, and just the things that happened, and they made them funny.
And they, if this is what we're doing it on, sitcom, situational comedy, to me, it's not even close. Because Seinfeld is about nothing.
And they made comedy out of serious situations. Yeah. Because you remember when Elvin first came to the family and he was just basically a chauvinist.
Yes.
Or talking all that bullshit, and then what was it? Elvin had came through and Cliff and Claire were there. Yeah, when he asked to go get the tea, and she was like, "You get the tea anytime, anywhere, any place, anytime." All that shit. You was like, "Yeah," but it's like moments like that, like Cosby turned like real.
Don't act like Seinfeld doesn't have moments.
Not like that.
Seinfeld has gut-busting funny moments.
Yeah, Seinfeld has way more of those moments than The Cosby Show. That's undeniably true.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is the Cosby Show pool is too deep.
Yeah, The Cosby Show got way too much content and too much and then they brought real issues into it, but maintained the funny shit and all of that.
Easily comparable. You'll do Kramer was a funny character in Seinfeld, the way he bust through the door and did whatever.
And how he used to shake in his head, used to do this, and everybody used to. You know what I'm saying?
What was it that caused that? It wasn't a situation. That's just some slapstick shit right there.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that one was quick and unanimous. But hold up. Big ups to Seinfeld, Seinfeld is a great show.
Well, Seinfeld's a funny show.
Hilarious show.
A funny show.
It is regarded by a lot of people as one of the best, if not the best sitcom. But
influence has a lot to do with that, but we won't even go into that.
yeah, no, let's not do that right now. But for what it is, the Cosby Show, it's a better all around. You know, the Cosby Show is a better show than Seinfeld. Like the Wonder Years is a much better show than Everybody Hates Chris. You know what I'm saying?
The salt.
That's just the way that the cookie crumbles.
Wonder Years is a better show than Everybody Hates
But
Chris.
son, it's long. So why are you still capping for it, son? It's all right. It's all right. You can go pull up Amazon Prime and watch your Wonder Years after the pod, son.
I will.
You got it.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Go ahead and do your thing.
I want to watch some Kevin and Winnie. All right, man. So we are in the semi-finals now.
Yeah.
And it is getting crazy. So on the left side, we got I Love Lucy versus Martin. And on the right side, it's the Bernie Mac Show versus the Cosby Show.
Oh my God.
All right. But let's start with I Love Lucy versus Martin. G, the floor is yours.
Both slapstick comedians. That's without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to just influence, man. I get a shit to Martin, yo.
Wow.
When it comes to it's rough. But when it comes to
shit.
influence, I can't deny that shit, yo.
Smills, you're gonna hate me for this because I'm gonna go right now and I'm gonna pick I Love Lucy. And it's gonna be up to you. Because I feel like situational comedy wise, I feel like I Love Lucy was funnier. I feel like Lucille Ball, I got a thing for Lucille Ball. I think she is just the goddamn cat's pajamas. She's fucking hilarious to me. I think that she was funnier than Martin by a very small smidgen.
See, and I don't disagree with that, but what I say is that Martin was had a little more depth to it.
Hold on, no, stop talking. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna sway Smills. Let Smills give his answer, and then
I ain't even say nothing. I just said Martin. I ain't even give my reason why the first time anyway. Before you cut in and said I'm gonna go I Love Lucy, you ain't even let me finish, son.
Because Smills was gonna pick the Wonder Years, and then you started running your mouth.
Yo, I ain't even. Yo, all right, go ahead. Hey.
All right.
All right, Smills, it's on you, yo.
This hurts, but I'm gonna double up off of a word that you used, Jay. Genius. Big word of the day. Influence, which it's very apparent that Martin watched a lot of I Love Lucy, had a lot of influence off of I Love Lucy. And just on her being big, bruh, I'm giving it to I Love Lucy over Martin because she's big, bruh. She's big homie.
I respect it.
If you want to do it like comedy wise, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving it to I Love Lucy.
See now, if Jay Genius would have went with the whole Smills, you probably wouldn't be like, oh well, you know what? You got a good point.
Yeah.
Nah, but
I Love Lucy's out.
Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
Nah, I was just gonna say that Martin has more depth than I Love Lucy because what was I Love Lucy? Lucy, Desi, Ethel, and I forgot her husband's name. Fred. Mm-hmm. Martin was Martin, Gina, Pam, Tommy, Cole, and then you want to throw the characters in there: Big Shirley, Shanae, Jerome. It had a little more depth to it, and that's the only reason. That's really why I gave it to Edge, yo.
But keep in mind, last week you yourself said that with all of the other characters, you felt like Martin started to do too much.
Yeah,
yes,
I still agree with that. But I'm not even. But that's not the point I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on the depth of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm speaking on. Whether I personally said he was doing too much. The depth of the show remains fact.
There was more character progression in Martin. I Love Lucy was kind of like, Lucy and Ricky never really broke up.
It was just, for the most part, it was
anything
shenanigans.
Like it primarily was just shenanigans.
Yeah.
But Lucy was a trendsetter, and the inspiration that a lot of people had, including Martin, from her.
That's no doubt.
You gotta give that nod to Lucy, man.
Yeah, Lucy, she basically took that honeymooners formula and ramped it up and modernized it to the point where she created that formula. Because Martin is taking that formula too. I mean, the neighbor aspect is not the same as far as how Lucy neighbor aspect is the same with the honeymooners, but you still got those ex characters.
Yeah.
Which is Pam and Cole and them, you know what I'm saying? So it's still cut from the same cloth.
All right. Well, who is going to battle Lucy in the final round? Bernie Mac Show versus The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
I will go first, reluctantly. The Cosby Show is a better show than the Bernie Mac Show. It wasn't funnier to me, but it's a better show. In the grand scheme of things, 1,000 years from now, when the earth is dust and the people who are walking the planet come across DVDs of these shows and they watch the Cosby Show and then they watch the Bernie Mac Show, they're probably gonna say that the Cosby Show is better. The legacy that it left behind and all of that. We're not touching on what the whole scandal with Bill Cosby. I don't really want to touch on that because I feel like that's going to taint the show itself. And that's really not fair.
We're just talking on the show. We're not
showing
the personal aspect.
Right, exactly. Just the show itself. I think that the Cosby Show had more meaningful moments. And all around was just a better show. I think Bernie was funnier, but I think the Cosby Show was a better sitcom.
Yo, man. Mr. Bernie himself. I have to give the nod to the Cosby Show.
Ooh.
And it's, as much as that hurts, it's to double down on your point, Generico. The Cosby Show was a more well-rounded show and had more depth to it. Not to necessarily say that the Bernie Mac Show was one-dimensional, but put it like this: when you watched the Bernie Mac Show, you knew what you were going to get every week.
Right.
You were going to get some real funny shit.
Right.
You was going to get some shenanigans with the kids and Bernie going off and this, that, and the other. When you watched the Cosby Show, it was like, all right, we're gonna get some Sandra and Elvin shit, or what Denise gonna say now, or what Vanessa gonna get into, or here go Theo doing this, that, and the other. Oh, is mom and dad gonna show up? They gonna do another dance they gonna do a family dance off the, how they did the Ray Charles thing. Like it was always up for grabs, so to speak. And that's what made it entertaining. And it was a lot of the comedy in the Cosby Show. It was just, like, for instance, do you remember when Claire had the bad day and Bill came in and turned on the jazz record and then walked out with like the cake with the strawberries on it that she hated?
Yeah.
And you remember how they didn't talk at all during that scene, but it was hilarious? How he put the stuff on his nose and he kept coming out with it. Yeah. And he came out with the bigger knife and then like stuff like that. Like, you really didn't, you know what I'm saying? To me, it's real difficult to make a really funny moment without saying nothing. Bill Cosby was good at that. And it's things like that that made the Cosby Show special. And plus, it spawned so many other great things. Like, did we mention this on the honorable mentions? If we didn't, we bugging. A Different World.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that.
A Different World, yo.
Yeah.
It spawned, and that was just one of the greatest things that came from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to give it to the Cosby Show. Yeah.
Smills.
I'm going with Cosby. I'm going with Cosby for like the one thing that the Cosby Show mastered, that whoever created that cast and the thought of the age with like the people involved with the show is genius, because you were able to get the comedic aspect from a 6-year-old, a teenager, a fucking a dude that's right at the cusp of teen and manhood, and then females that were at the cusp of becoming a woman, but then there was another sister that was already a woman. Like, there was so many different levels to the aspect of comedy that was relatable to so many different like brackets. It was ridiculous how they brought that all under one basket and made it work on perfect time.
Yeah.
That was one of the special things about the Cosby Show to me, how it's like, wow, like, it's not a show for a 6-year-old. It's not a show for a 14. It really was a family show where you sit down with every different age of the family, going from the baby to the grandmother, where y'all could all sit down and have a laugh together.
It was something for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
So
when their
with that,
parents
I'm
used to
giving it
pull
to
up.
Cosby.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And their parents came to the show every once in a while.
Yep.
And then they
Yep.
introduced Raven Simone in the show, and she was real little.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you touched every age.
Yeah.
All right.
Here
Well,
we go.
here we go. The finals of the best sitcom ever tournament is here. We got I Love Lucy versus The Cosby Show. Two shows that are amazing in their own right. For what they did them perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But which show is better? I ain't going first. Fuck that.
Ooh.
I guess I'll go first, yo. So, we got just genuine slapstick comedic genius versus an all-around heavy-hitting sitcom. Yo,
I told you I didn't want to go first.
this shit real, yo.
Fuck all that.
This shit real.
I'm good.
So I guess I gotta break it down for me. What show made me laugh harder? I Love Lucy. That's hands down.
Easy.
What show made me feel more? Cosby Show. That's hands down. What show did I relate to more? Cosby Show. What show that was more, I guess, inspirational, a show that I aspired to? Cosby Show. A black doctor and lawyer on TV in the 80s.
Of course. Of course.
But now getting back to the basis of this tournament.
And the definition of a sitcom.
Yeah, situational comedy. That's how, to me, that's how I Love Lucy was scripted as. It was scripted as little situational shenanigans. That's how it was scripted. But see, the beauty of the Cosby Show is that it wasn't necessarily scripted that way, but it had its situational comedy very, like, it was multiple situations going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Theo situation from becoming a knucklehead to graduating, becoming a teacher. You had the
it had character
Lisa
progression,
Bonet
yeah.
situation and her going to Africa and doing all that stuff and
Sure.
this, that, and the other, and having a stepdaughter. It just had a lot of stuff going on. But then the thing about it is, which I applaud the Cosby Show, and like Smil said, it never really felt all over the place. It felt like it came together like in the right way. And with that said,
Before you make your decision,
What?
let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
When you say to yourself, when you go to sit down, and you're gonna turn on a sitcom, you turn on the sitcom to what? To laugh.
Like,
right?
my purpose of turning on a sitcom?
Yeah.
90% laugh, 10%, to watch a story unfold.
Okay.
Because I still want some depth to my comedy. I want to, because that's what keeps you tuned in every week. You got to have something that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this is going down. Oh, this.
I feel you.
And like I said, and reiterate my point with that said, Cosby Show, yo.
Okay. Smills, you're going to decide this entire tournament. Because I'm going to go right now. And I'm going to pick I Love Lucy. Just because I wanted to make it hard on you. But
Of course.
Aside from that, the reason why I'm going to pick I Love Lucy is kind of what I just... With respect to the Cosby Show, when I put on a sitcom, I put on a sitcom to laugh. There are many shows out there that bring the drama and have the character progression and stuff like that. And if I want to go in that bag, there's a multitude of shows to pick from. If I want to sit down and I want to watch a traditional sitcom, something funny, I'm going to get my 25 minutes, 5 minutes worth of commercials in, whatever, and just be done with it. And be like, damn, you know what? I'm happy I watched that. I got a good laugh out of that. Let me continue on with my day. I would go I Love Lucy before Cosby Show. And I think that's why in the traditional sitcom format, the whole three, you said it perfectly, son. G, the whole 3-room kind of traditional shit or whatever. I Love Lucy was one of the originators of it.
Yeah.
And again, I think that Lucy was funnier than anybody that was on the Cosby Show. So I'm going to give it to I Love Lucy. And Smills, I feel so very bad for you right now.
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to another of the honorable mentions. Maybe it didn't make it because the way that the formula was, but big up to the Carol Burnett show.
Okay.
Word. Yeah. Big up to the Carol Burnett. All this talk about Lucille Ball, I just keep thinking about Carol Burnett. But damn, y'all, why y'all do me like this?
Because I wasn't trying to be the one. And the moment that he said the Cosby Show, I'm like, all right, I knew that Lucy was going to be my pick. The moment he said if he would have said I Love Lucy, I would have had you go second.
Yeah.
Oh man. I love both of those shows, man. I really do. I'm gonna go with I Love Lucy because I would have to put the Cosby Moore in the Wonder Years bag, and we did that to the Wonder Years, so I'm gonna be even. I'm gonna go I Love Lucy. I'm sticking to the script. That's it.
Applause. It hurt him to say that.
Where's the applause, G? Where's the
applause? It hurt him to say that. He said that shit. That sounded like one of them. One of them joints that's on the end of the. That's one of them joints. One of them disclaimers. That's on the end of the commercials. Not a Tony Spurs posted. Call now.
With the I Love Lucy and Friends, like I didn't want to do it. I had to just say it as fast as I could, just so I could just forget that I even said it. Like, I Love Lucy. Okay, I'm done.
Well, yo, she takes it.
So, according to your boys, Trash Talk with GGS, that's Generico, J Genius, and Smills Daily, I Love Lucy is the best sitcom ever. G, one more applause if you can.
Well deserved.
Let's look through the brackets and see who she had to beat. So I Love Lucy single-handedly beat Friends, Fresh Prince, Martin, and The Cosby Show. Damn.
That's hard.
That's
right
hard.
there.
That's a hard body.
Hell
move.
yeah.
If you translate that to sports, that's a great run right there.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
In any sport, baseball, football, basketball. Yeah.
How about
There it is.
There it is. How about that?
Wow.
Well, yeah, man. So that's our tournament. And we were, not to jump ahead or anything like that, but we were discussing before we jumped on the podcast today about another tournament that we are going to do in the future. So just to get everybody kind of up to speed and get everybody ready for it, we are going to do the greatest R&B artists. We agree we're going to do that?
Yes.
Is it
Artist
going
or
down?
group?
Artists
We'll
or
do
group?
the artist first. Artist first.
Okay. We're going to do the greatest R&B artists of all time tournament. So we'll do that in a few weeks. Get everybody prepared for it. But yeah.
And once again, you could call us a disclaimer or whatever. We're going to try to do this our best to judge on body of work and no association with the character of the individual that's delivering the music.
Got it. So you basically just said that R. Kelly's going to win.
No, I just gave R. Kelly an hint, so he
Okay.
can at least be in the tournament.
All right. I mean, on some G shit though, we got to touch on it though, because if the Cosby Show was able to get to the finals,
Yeah,
y'all know where I'm going
That's
with
true.
this.
Yeah.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, there you go. Go watch you some I Love Lucy, man.
Absolutely. Throw in
Get
an
some
episode of
laughs
I
in.
Love Lucy. Throw in an episode
Get
where
some
she
laughs
stuffed all the chocolates in her mouth.
That one is
that's
fun too.
Throw in the episode where she thought Ricky was trying to kill her. That shit was mad funny. And she was bugging the whole time. But Ricky kept getting on the phone and like Ricky was having conversations with some woman on the phone, but the shit that he was saying sounded so sus. And like Lucy's in the kitchen, like peeking, and like and Ricky's saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, and when we get rid of her, yeah, I can't wait to get." And Lucy's like, and she going to Ethel like, "Ethel, I think Ricky's gonna kill me," or some shit like that. Funny shit, man. There's so many great episodes of I Love Lucy. Just ingest it and pay homage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Check out all the shows on the list, man. Y'all want some laughs.
Hell yeah.
Check them all
Yeah.
out.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, man.
If you have
Even the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The honorable mention, I said it last week, the honorable mentions on the low is kind of more lit than the actual
Yeah.
tournament. Yo,
Word. It was.
Sanford and Son is funny.
Oh yeah. And All in the Family, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the motherfucking meathead moments, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But all right, everybody. So that is the tournament right there. And once again, big ups to I Love Lucy. And that's it. Any final words before we cut it this week, gentlemen? G, what's good?
Yo, man. Have fun. It was good. I Love Lucy reign supreme. Good little tournament, little mix up, man. Back to our regularly scheduled programming next week. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, yo. And make sure you come back. Tune in.
Absolutely. Smell, send them off, man.
Everybody, like he said, man, just keep that health going. Like I said before, this summer is going to be one of the hottest ones because they let the animals out the cages. So just keep your eyes and ears open. Move wisely. That's what we do.
Absolutely. And as always, everybody, stay safe, stay happy, all the great stuff. We'll check you guys next week. Have a good one.
Peace. Thanks for listening to Trash Talk with GGS. See y'all next week.